Hello. How is everyone doing today? So we are live, and I'm just going to make sure as people start to come in, yay, just let me know if the microphone's not working. I checked everything. I'm on the right channel. I checked the microphone. It just seems like I've just been having some hard times just trying to get everything just right. It's playing an ad. Oh, gosh. I was annoyed. Let me see. Yay, it's on. Okay, that's all I needed to check. So, how is everyone doing? Leave me some comments in the chats below if you have any questions. Today is officially the last Sunday in the month of August. I can't believe time flew by so fast, like really, really fast. So, yeah. So I'm here to just kind of answer some questions. I think everybody's kind of in the swing of things for homeschooling. So if you have any questions as you're getting into the back to school stuff, leave them down in the chats below. I'm going to just throw out some announcements of what's going on just with this channel and just with whatever's happening to our lives, because it seems like there's a lot going on. Of course, with our kids, we're homeschooling. We're in the middle of co-ops. For me personally, I had a speaking engagement last week through a digital homeschool thing. That was fun. That was great. I loved it. And I'm still, if anybody wants me to speak, I'm here. And I have a podcast interview coming up next week. Then I will be starting my lives every other week starting on September 11th. And I will be doing the first live is with Summer Myers. If you haven't seen Summer Myers, she is hilarious. And we are going to be talking about de-washing or unbrainwashing our brains from the public school system and little things that we do that we don't realize we're doing that is it's public school. Okay. And how we're going to kind of get ourselves out of that. And things that we don't realize that in areas that we have more freedom to homeschool. And on the 14th, it's on the 22nd of September, we're going to be doing with, it's going to be JAYMIE. She has a son who has autism, and we're going to be discussing homeschooling. Hi guys. Yay. Here comes the comments. I'm actually on the right channel today. Yay. Okay. We're going to be discussing homeschooling special needs from a biblical perspective, which was inspired by a comment that somebody made thinking that special needs kids can't necessarily be taught biblically because they won't understand that. There's a question of can they be saved, like these kind of things. So during these lives, I'm going to be just unpacking how to homeschool our kids biblically. And just on the Sundays, then I'm going to be uploading back to normal the 2 times a week, except for the week that I do the live. I might drop it down to 1, but I'm kind of addicted to YouTube. So it might be 2 because I have so many ideas in my head. The video that I did with public school versus homeschool exploded on my channel. I don't know why. I guess it was funny. People thought it was funny. So I decided that I'm going to try to do some kind of parody or something fun, lighthearted like that once a month, just to kind of, people respond really well to those. And I think it's nice to have that de-stressing moment. And Summer and Ashley and I are going to probably continue to do collabs in that kind of thing. So yes, I'm doing great. Also putting the dates on top of each page. We're from Florida and use the good and the beautiful for language arts and math. Would it be enough to present the 2 books for evaluation? Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, that's language arts and math. I don't know what grade they are. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. If you think that's good enough, then that's fine. So yeah, I would say yes. Online, when I was asking for some questions, let's see. Malaysia. I've got Malaysia, and I know, I feel like I'm always going to mess up her name. Zahara. I had a friend in high school named Zahara. So I believe she is from, I can't remember where she's from, but it's someplace over, not in America. So we've got some people from different countries here. I love this. I love how YouTube is like that, where we can connect. I did say it right. Yay, hi. Where we can connect just across the globe. It's just, to me, it's mind-boggling. It's like I get to travel, but I don't really get to travel. I actually want to physically travel. That would be fun. I will one day. I will one day. So okay, so I did ask some. Oh, yay! Zahara. Yay. All right, so I have a question. We're looking at 4-H to supplement our core subjects and act as kind of a co-op. I've never done 4-H. I've looked into 4-H. I do know they have a lot of good stuff. I've seen a lot of homeschoolers use it. I don't know how the core curriculum stuff works for them, so I can't really speak into that. I've seen them at the homeschool co-ops, so I know they are popular. So I would just look into it to see if it works with your family, but I have not been exposed personally to it. Naomi's, I think she's asleep. I think Naomi took a 2-hour nap today, and she's probably awake. Ethan, is Naomi asleep? Okay, she's asleep. Her older brother likes to put her to bed. It's not like he likes to. He literally likes to lay down next to her and make sure she's okay and falls asleep. It gives him peace of mind. So he'll sit next to her in bed and he'll read a book while she goes to sleep. So I mean, they're literally in the room right there. So if they need me, I'm right here. So yay. So okay, so she doesn't understand English well, but I don't understand. Yeah, she's sleeping. Naomi is asleep. So, okay. Yeah, it is. It's precious. My kids, the one thing I love is that they've really taken ownership of just their homeschooling and ownership of each other and just really protective of their sister and not so much their older sister. They do fight sometimes, a lot. They do actually. But they do protect. Yes. They do protect Naomi a lot. Let me see if I can answer some of these questions that came in through. And if you guys have questions. Oh, okay, here we go. Thank you. All right, so Laura asked, I have heard great things about apologia science, but I think I have a hard time thinking about just studying one topic a year. My oldest is almost 7, so maybe it will work as he gets older. I have lots of thoughts on that, actually. I have lots. See, I'm putting down the phone with the comments because I have thoughts. No, what it is we're used to the cycle within the public school system where they're teaching us general science, and the general science is going to give you a little bit of anatomy, a little biology, a little physics, a little chemistry, a little of each thing. And they're only giving you a survey. You're not going in depth at all. It's very just there. Think about when you go into high school. You're getting the full, like you're taking chemistry for a full year. Like you're not doing biology. You're doing, physics for a full year. Same with mathematics. You're going to be doing Algebra 1, and maybe 1 year you're doing trigonometry. So they're taught as units. And that way you can get much more in depth. And so the argument may happen where they're saying, well, they're little and we have only so much time and we want to introduce them to all the little things. And I get that argument. It's totally okay if that's what you want to do. But here's another thought. When they're little, their brains are like sponges, and they also learn in blocks. So if you're going to teach your child, pick a subject, anatomy, for example, and you're going to focus on just anatomy for 6 weeks or 6 months, however you want to do it, they're going to absorb themselves into that topic. They're going to learn more about that topic. They're going to be more fluent with the vocabulary. And a lot of those things that you learn in biology is going to reach over to different other areas of science. So for example, chemistry, biology reaches over into chemistry, or I was saying anatomy, but biology reaches over into anatomy, or botany. That's the one that Apologia teaches. Botany, it reaches it all connects. Science all connects. So it's kind of what you're wanting for your family. Do you want that in-depth soaking in that topic for a period of time, or do you want to just do a survey where you touch on each thing? I prefer soaking in the subject for a long period of time. If you've known me, I just think the kids learn better that way. You can also go the route of, let's like this is one thing we did. If we're doing this now actually, where we have core subjects. So we have our math, we have our language arts, and our Spanish, those, and music. So those to me are our core subjects. And when I say music, I mean like piano lessons, or my son is getting into drums. So that's music. Spanish is a core subject because I want them to learn Spanish. My husband's Hispanic, and his whole side of the family is Spanish. We got family in Puerto Rico. We live in Florida. This country, or this state, there's pockets of Hispanic, and I figured that's going to be good for them in the future. But languages you have to learn like consistently. You can't just do a chunk of language and then drop off and expect to remember it and retain it. And then, of course, mathematics, and then something pertaining to language arts. And right now we're kind of, I mean, I know school started up, but this is kind of where we pull back and let the co-ops take over a little bit. And we're not taking any language arts at the co-op, but we are going to pick up with structure and style with IEW. We're taking a break from that right now. We're going to start that up as our language arts. Right now for their language arts, they're doing like vocabulary, explode the code, just little things here and there, but we're soaking in history. That's the one that we're soaking in right now. And that's the Middle Ages. And we approximately, and not because I'm going to be honest, it is not necessary to do it this way, but this is because we're actually enjoying it together, because there's readings, there's worksheets, there's videos, there's discussions, there's music that's being played. We're talking. I mean, it takes us about two or more hours to go through our history curriculum. There's papers that they're writing. It's a full unit study, and it's specifically on the Middle Ages, and we're getting in depth with the Middle Ages, and we're dwelling. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's probably going to take about 3 months to go through the Middle Ages. We're just soaking in it. We're going to take some field trips with it. It's just kind of like our thing right now. Over the summer, we did astronomy like several times because my kids really like astronomy. But we've done botany over the summer like that. We did the Roman Empire like that. I use my sciences and my histories as kind of a unit study. We also did a poetry unit study. And unit study, when you teach like that, where you soak in it, the kids are going to retain the information, and there's more opportunities to do more things. So I don't like the skimming the science subjects. Some people really like that. I'm not a big fan of that. But and that's because that's how we were taught to learn in elementary school with the public school system. And I think there's a better way to do that, is that soaking in it. So those are my thoughts. It's an opinion. Take it or leave it. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's something to consider, just the soaking. I've done Apologia Science. We did botany in 6 weeks. And that's all. Like, we did botany and then the core subjects, like I mentioned before. That's what we did. And it's very easy to do. Like, the astronomy with Apologia is it's for young kids. It's not for 5th grade and 4th grade. I feel like 5th grade, 4th grade, 6th grade, I wouldn't use the astronomy Apologia. I think there's better curriculum out there. That's the Stargazer's Guide to the Night Sky. That's really good for 6th grade, 5th grade, and then middle school. I don't know, high school. I think high school could use it if they're not advanced and you just want that nice little survey of astronomy. It's not a survey. I shouldn't say it's a survey, but it's a really good curriculum. So it's called Stargazer's Guide to the Night Sky. I have a video on it too. There's a flip through, but that's more for if you're looking at the Apologia astronomy curriculum and it looks too childish for you and you want to get something a little more heavy, that one's good for the upper elementary and middle school. And then the botany is good. You can get really deep with that. And then the animal ones are really good. They progress through. I do think like the chemistry one and the physical science one is not really good for a kindergartner. You could do it if you're doing it with an older kid and you could do like a group study, but I wouldn't do that one for a kindergartner right off the back. For kindergarten, I would start with the astronomy one the astronomy one. So I have a video on Apologia too. I've done all the Apologia curriculum because I teach at a science co-op. So if you guys didn't know that, you guys can ask me those questions too. Okay, so I'm going to go through these because I keep seeing now all the comments are on this side of the screen. So, okay, going back to school tomorrow. You do not have a podcast. I do not have a podcast. Have I? I don't know. I don't know. This is kind of like a podcast. I could upload this. I don't know. I've never, I thought about it like when I wanted to start doing, I just don't see how podcasts are successful. Because everything's video nowadays. And I feel like I wouldn't reach as many people if I did a podcast. I feel like doing these lives, they seem to be better. I get more reach. So even though like they only have a certain amount of people online right now, by the end of the day tomorrow, I'm going to like have 400 views, probably, maybe more, just depending upon who picks it up. But I don't know. I feel like it would not be like I'm thinking, I don't know. Should I do a podcast? I don't know. I'll go on podcast. I love going on podcast. That's one of my favorite things to do. Just talking. I love talking to other people. That's why I'm having people on here. I have my eye on some big names that I want to get on and chat with. I know. Sunday nights. That's my thing. The lives are going to be unique. They're going to be unique. So I don't have a podcast. I knew you would have yes. Okay, yeah, and any good ones to start. So like I said, I think I went through all those, right? What else they have? Geology. I don't know much about their geology one. They have a nutrition one, but I think that's more high school. I'm not sure. The nutrition book I used is because I love it. It's more crunchy. It's very it's biblical crunchy, very Bible crunchy. It's called it's like 100 or Nutrition 101. That's what it's called, Nutrition 101, and Bible crunchy. They talk about everything in there, from making bread to essential oils to like even like dietary things, like you should not be eating this and look out for these ingredients, but it's also nutrition and how it works through your body and such. And I love that book. I've taught that one twice at the co-op. So, but I think of all of the sciences that we've ever done, and I don't know if this is because of my kids or just because I like it, I don't know, but it hands down has been the Stargazer's Guide to the Night Sky. That one's Dr. Jason Lyle. That's hands down my favorite science curriculum I've done with all my kids, but that's astronomy. So we got a big old telescope and everything with that one. But and then my second favorite would honestly probably be the Nutrition 101. And then I do like the chemistry and physics one. I like the Apology one, but those are for older kids. I do have a tendency, I know that I've homeschooled all my younglings, but I do have a tendency to like older kids because I taught middle school for 10 years. And my training and all, like my personality, I should not, training too, but my personality really goes with the middle school age. I was, you can believe it, I guess. I was a very popular teacher. I was very popular. My classes would fill up pretty quick. So, yes, don't know if you've seen Modern Hostery. I'm thinking history TV here on YouTube. Fun stuff that middle age. Yeah, the middle age is fun. It's so much fun because I can be like, we are done. Like we're closing out the dark ages and we're learning about the monasteries and monk. We did St. Patrick last week. We did Gregory the Great. We did, we also did all the Vikings and the barbarians and the Vandals and all the different We're also talking about the church and how the church was rising up. That's because the monasteries and monks. We're also talking about the monks and how the monasteries started to get corrupt through the Middle Ages, and St. Patrick. What did we just? We're reading like a couple books on the subject. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun talking about all the fun things that we're doing. So yeah, we're just starting it. Okay. So how do you do science as a unit study? Just do science daily. I have a video where I show you how I do botany, but what I would do, yeah, every day. Every day. Apology makes that possible. I also would have them, like, I would get creative and have them write a paper or journal, one of those two things, depending upon their age. I would just take a question or a discussion question and have them write about it at the end of the day for my older kids. But we would wake up in the morning. The first thing I did, I would read the book to them. Then I would, I don't know if I did the questions or experiments first. I'd read the book, do the experiments, do the questions, wrap it up if there was a paper or something like that they had to do. And that literally took all day. And then after botany, or that subject was done, we would then do their core subjects after. So we always started, we started with devotional, and then we started with the biology, or botany was one that we did, botany. And with botany, it was a half a chapter a day is what we did. So if I'm not mistaken, apology, I think, has 14 units or 14 chapters. So we would do half of one. So it would take us 28 days to go through the whole, like 6 weeks, the whole thing. And because I teach science at the co-op, one of my secrets is I Google experiments. So as I'm reading the actual book, I will go, ooh, there could be a fun experiment with that inside my head as I'm reading it. And then I'll go into Google or Pinterest. I used to be like really big into Pinterest, but then I just got mad at Pinterest and just did Google. So I would Google, science experiments for blah, 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 whatever. I had the idea. And then I would just look at images and just try to find one that we had ingredients in the house for, or that looks like something I could get. And then I would just kind of make up the experiment or activity. I did that a lot, because you don't have to do a whole, with the littles, you don't have to do a whole like procedure list. Sorry. You don't have to do a lab report with the littles. Now with the olders, instead of writing a paper, you could do a lab report. Lab reports are kind of like book reports, but they're for labs. So we did that. We also did a lot of nature walks. I downloaded the nature identification app. There's an app where you can hold it up to a plant. It tells you what it is. So we would do that, and we'd like play games with classifying things and talk about how similar things were. We also had an inside joke about all the ragweed, because now when we did botany, we learned what ragweed looked like. So just little things. We just kind of soaked in it our own family style way. And if you've seen my homeschool videos, the way that we homeschool is I try to find fun in everything, and we make jokes and we laugh and we tease, and we're kind of nerdy in a silly kind of way. But we're not that like subtle. We're not the typical homeschool family. I don't think so. We just kind of enjoy life together. And they're also very independent too. And we make silly jokes. I don't know. We had a lot of inside jokes with botany, but I think that's how they remember things. Because if you can get them to remember things by giving them a joke attached to it, they're going to remember it long term. Something about humor seeps. Yes. All right. This is actually true. Something about humor, when you put humor with something that you want your kid to learn, like a spelling word or a science vocabulary word or something like that, they're going to remember it longer, because it seeks that laughter. The humor pulls it into long-term memory. Fun fact. The more you know. Do. Okay, sorry. But yeah, that's real. And I'm not going to I've done brain training. So, okay. All right. So podcast. Yes, my husband is Spanish. He's not from Spain. He's Puerto Rican. So Middle Ages. Don't know if you've seen. Okay, I read that one. So how do you do science daily? Oh, what is my husband doing on here? Okay, that is a great painting. That is my painting that I finally put up. My husband's on here. Hi, husband. Okay, that is my painting. Do you like it? I painted it a long time ago, and I said I'm putting it up behind me because I was sick of staring. I was sick and tired of looking at this and not and seeing a white wall behind me. So I put a painting up. May I ask what you're using? Recommended to teach Spanish. I did a bad job about not teaching mine, and part of it was my lack of confidence. I need to spruce up the basic grammar myself. Modern history TV. Okay, smiley face. And okay, so I'm going to touch on the Spanish one. So I do Homeschool Spanish Academy. They are great when it comes to academics, when it comes to I think the grammar too. It's one-on-one tutoring or coaching or teaching. I don't know. It's like me sitting here and we have a conversation. So my boys do it together for an hour and my daughter does it for half an hour by herself. And we're going to finish up the first semester and I think we're going to take a break. So I'm using them right now. I have a whole video. I will make it a point to put in my down below right there. And then hopefully in the comments, but if not, I'll post it. Actually, I need to post it in my community tab. I'm going to try to do shorts and community tabs a lot because YouTube's pushing that stuff right now. So I'm going to put it in my community tab for you guys because it is a good one. It does cost a little bit of money because it's like $10. I want to say approximately $10 an hour of sit down one-on-one. They give you homework. There's a curriculum attached to it. I think it's great for high school. Like if you have to take a language for high school, it's perfect for that. My boys are in middle school. Elementary school, it's just kind of fun and games. Like her teacher's amazing. I'm upset right now because I think her teacher's booked out for the rest of the year. So I can't register her for any more classes with that teacher. And she's really upset about it. But I like it. I like it a lot. And then I also use, after we're done with the first semester with Homeschool Spanish Academy, I'm going to be using TalkBox Mom. We started using it a little bit now, we've pretty much finished the first box and it's conversational Spanish around the home. So it's kind of nice because we talk about things like tonight I was, like we say, vámonos a la pier. I think I said that right. I always butcher that word, or I'll say, pon la plato in lava plato. Like we'll have conversations about things that we do. ¿Qué quieres comer? ¿Quieres manzana? And then we learn all the fruits and vegetables that we eat. And it's all about what you do frequently in the home. Quiero más, like those kind of words. No más. And then we'll also dialogue the words, like when we practice our Spanish, if they don't have homeschool homework, we practice dialoguing it. It's based off of the Charlotte, it seems, I don't know, I don't have facts behind this, but it seems to be based off of Charlotte Mason style. And it's about fluency in the home. So there's no textbook, there's no writing, it's all oral, and it's about having conversations with each other in the language, topically based, which is how you learn languages. You learn languages by speaking it in the home. It's a totally different approach than academics. And we all know that academics doesn't always work. So when we're doing it, we spend about an hour. Okay, it comes with, I can show you. I am not affiliate with TalkBox Mom, by the way. I'm just going to say that. But I am affiliate with Homeschool Spanish Academy. But, oh no, I have to type in all my things. Anyway, I don't have it, but this is kind of what you can't see. Anyway, there's an app, and the app will actually, you can have this Spanish, you can organize it like you want to learn this phrase, you put it in a folder. You pick the phrases you want to learn, and they're in a specific folder. When you're done with them, you put a little heart or check next to it, and it goes to automatically to these are the phrases I've learned folder. And then you have the phrases you don't know folder. So you it's so organized. That's the thing with TalkBox Mom. Like all the work is done for you. It's Charlotte Mason Spanish Learning, where you don't have to do the work. The work is done for you. And they send you a box every 3 months or 1 month, however long you want to do it. If you did it every 3 months, it takes about 2 years to go through all of her boxes, and then she has other little extra things you can buy with that language. Doing Spanish makes me wanna go back and learn Hebrew again. Relearn Hebrew. My kids are like, "No," but it's really fun. So, okay, comments. Okay, yay! Everybody's saying good morning or good evening, and we're kind of. It seems like we're coming. I've seen to answer like most of the questions too. Oh my gosh, I get it. Um, it would be great to get a little dialogue going like we got a couple weeks ago. I'm going to go ahead and, since there's no more questions in the chats, I'm going to go ahead and look for the questions that came through. I have a lot of stuff in my phone. So I took pictures of all the questions that I found. If you have any questions, sorry, it's taking me a while. I also moderate some other stuff that questions come up, and I have a habit of taking pictures of questions that show up in my phone. Okay. Maybe I did it today. Okay. Oh, this is the one. This was the one that came up. She wants to know the difference between this could be fun discussion in the chats. She wants to know the difference. I can't talk. She wants to know the difference between public school and homeschool. All the things, all the differences between homeschooling and public school. So I'll just go add them in the chats, and that would be Tanisha Picard wrote that. So listing them off. Obviously, you can pick your hours in homeschool, but you don't get to do that when you're in public school. You are at home. You're in a building. You are with your family, and you're not with your family. You have more field trips when you homeschool usually. You have a lot of families do shorter amount of times when they're homeschooling as opposed to the public school system. The curriculum is different. Public school is going to have a very secular, straightforward, this is how it is curriculum. You don't get to pick curriculum that's picked out by the school. Homeschooling, you have choices, whatever your choices that you want to do as a parent, and you can quit the curriculum mid-year. Public school is very much like you start on whatever August, whatever date, and you end on another date. Homeschool, you could do it year round. Do you guys have any others? You don't, I mean, you have co-ops. So in homeschool, you have co-ops. Public school, you don't. Homeschool co-ops don't always happen every day. You have play dates during the week. You have field trips. What field trip? Going to the grocery store is a field trip. And that's like a joke. I think the grocery store field trip thing is a joke, but it's like a real thing because you really do that in real life. So I guess those would cover it. Freedom to choose the time and duration of the lessons. You see the child's weakness and target it that week. Yep, exactly. Let's see. Okay. If anybody else, you don't have to pick up your kids or have to be at school at a particular time every day. Oh my gosh, that's so true. No car lines. Oh, I remember picking up my daughter when she was in VBK, the car lines. And then also when I was a kid and had to pick my sister up from school. I'm older. I'm older by 6 years. The car lines. Yeah, I remember those days. And waiting when you were in the car lines. I can't find my other questions in here. There's a lot to learn at the grocery store, yes. No arguing with the school board and fighting for your child's. Oh my gosh, yeah. And no IEPs, no not knowing if kids are going to get bullied or not knowing if the teacher is going to be there or not. Oh my gosh. And then if something happens, you don't have to deal with other people in the situation. Like your kid, I don't know, I'll just throw like they cheated on a test. Now you got to deal with the teacher and you got to deal with your kid. And there's like all these things. They cheat on a test at home. It's you, dad, and them. Safety. I know a lot of people get really nervous because of, stuff that's happened in the past. I don't want to say the word. on YouTube because, sorry, of YouTube. Okay. I love not having to attend IEP meetings. Oh, see, I've never attended it as a parent, but I used to be there all the time. I used to have all these IEP meetings when I was a teacher, and I never had anything to say. I would just go through the paperwork and listen to all the things because I never ran them. I mean, obviously the guidance counselor runs them. At least when I was in school, they have all 7 teachers, the guidance counselor, and the parents sit down. I think sometimes even the administrators were in there, depending upon the situation, I think. I don't remember. But I just remember sitting in that room and I kept thinking, like, I really have to go. I really have to go. I have so much stuff to do. So I would try to make them quick by like not talking. I don't know why that. Well, that's because I was a teacher and I came from that perspective. Just know that IEP meetings, the teachers don't want to be there either. I hated going to them. I would have, like, honestly, it would be at least once a week. At least once a week. Okay, I'm not finding my other questions. I pulled a bunch of questions off and I can't find any of them. Oh, here it is. Okay, this was more of a comment. My son went to middle school for 2 days, was so unhappy. He has special needs, just starting our journey, and I'm anxious I will fail him. Any suggestions? So it is kind of a question. Any suggestions? Anxious about, no, we're not going to fail our kids. Read my book. That's what the whole book is about. We're not going to fail our kids. Our public school does not dictate the identity of our child. That's not who created our children. So why are we letting man determine what our child should or shouldn't do? Because only God can do that. And God has given each and every one of us parents that. Like, the school system didn't give birth or adopt our children. We did. So why are we putting our trust in a man as opposed to putting in trust in God, who actually was the one that made things happen? So you're not going to fail them. It's this whole, like, unbrainwashing your brain to think that they are the ones that have authority. They have authority in a secular worldview, but in a biblical worldview, they don't have authority. So, yeah. I think it's very simple and straightforward. So I've been really thinking about this a lot lately. I'm writing a second book too. I can't stop either. Like, I just keep writing and writing and writing. And everyone's like, where do you have all this time? And I'm like, I have no idea, because I'm also ahead on my videos. So, okay, my last IEP meeting was 6.5 hours long with 20 people in attendance. What? 20 people? How do you have 20 people in an IEP meeting? Like 20 teachers? Oh my gosh. I'm not going to say the words. Okay, that's intimidating. That's really intimidating. I would just be really quiet and be like, like when I go to the doctor's office. Doctor's like, you need to do this, 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 and this. And I go, write it down. And then once I walk out the door, I'm going to stop there. All right. Actually, we have a really good doctor, and he's very understanding of our wishes and desires for a lot of things. And he actually backs us up. So we're good. My last IEP meeting was 6.5 hours long with 20 people. So I read that. Okay. So I'm a newbie here, and most of my traditional family does not approve. Gotcha. I was just wondering if you all have some words of encouragement. And go, guys, go in the comments. No, yeah. I'm trying to think from, yeah, well, I mean, did they give birth? I was just wondering if you have some words of encouragement. Well, you're the parents, you decide. And no, okay, so what I would do, I had to think through this. I would make sure you write down why you're homeschooling and your goals and put it somewhere and let that be your focus. And whenever And if you are homeschooling from a biblical perspective, whenever you struggle, think about where your identity is from. And then it will just what words they say that are not uplifting will go through one ear and out the other. You don't even have to worry about it, but it will, just it's your family, your household. You make the decision. And if you're coming from biblical perspective, know that God is the one that's given you that authority. And it says in scripture, like, it's teach them diligently and all these things specifically to the parents, like sons. I don't know if you're a believer or not. Deuteronomy 11:19. I have it all listed right here. Okay. You shall teach them diligently to your sons. Talk of them when you sit in your house and when you walk along the roads. Hear, my son, your father's instruction. Hear, O sons, the instruction. This is Proverbs. And give attention that you may gain understanding. When I was a son to my father, tender and only son in the sight of my mother, then he taught me and said to me, let your heart hold fast my words, keep my commandments and live. Proverbs 4. Ephesians 6 says, fathers, do not provoke your child's angry, but bring them up with discipline and instruction, because discipline and instruction tie in with teaching, education. Discipline your son while there is hope and do not desire his death. Proverbs 19, but make them known to your sons and your grandsons. Deuteronomy 4, so they may learn to fear me all the days they live on earth, and that they may teach their children. Deuteronomy 4:10, for he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should teach them to their children. That's Psalm 78. When your son asks you in time to come, then you shall say to your son. Deuteronomy 6:20. A father tells his son about your faithfulness. Isaiah 38. Okay, I could go on. I've got another page of these scriptures, but Joshua 4, 7 through 8, and then 21 through 22, Psalm 78, Proverbs, correct your son, Proverbs 29, do not hold back discipline, Proverbs 23, Hebrews 12. Yeah. It lies with Ephesians 6:4. That's the big one. So it lies with the parents. So there you go. If that helps a lot. I had to file a state complaint, and it was, so I'm moving on, a facilitated meeting. I'd be nervous. All right, the Rambling Homemaker, 4-H for the first time. So maybe the two of you guys can somehow connect. Stacy with the 4-H club. I don't know. Oh, good. Good. I didn't know. I was like, I'm just going to read you scriptures because when I'm writing my book that I'm writing right now, so this is my book that I just wrote, because what I'm really like, my big thing is I have a passion for seeing parents homeschool the way that they want to homeschool, but more because I'm a believer and a Christian, and I go to Messianic Synagogue, which is basically a Christian denomination. I have a desire to see parents that are homeschooling their kids because of faith-based decisions. I want them to not compromise anymore, because they don't want to compromise anymore. But sometimes they have a hard time when they run into obstacles or falling back into old patterns, or not realizing things, like letting things go, like, because of what we've been taught and what we've been indoctrinated with. And just my passion is to see parents get out of that. So that's what the second book's about. And I can't stop. Yay. Wait, you have this. That was my maiden name. Are we related? Sorry, somebody said another Messianic mom here too, and they have my maiden name. That's funny. That would be funny to see, if that would be crazy. Okay. But anyway, so that is my passion. And that's why I love doing homeschool evaluations, because I sit with these parents, and a lot of them, it's my husband. It's her husband's last name. Maybe I'm related to her husband. Sorry. So that would only make sense. Duh. Oh, what time is it? I'm getting late. It's getting late. I'm getting goofy. No, that's my passion, is to just see homeschoolers homeschool the way that they want to homeschool, and if they're coming from a Christian perspective, to push through those obstacles. And that's why starting on the 11th, we're going to unbox all of that every other Sunday, which is a lot. And I'm going to really be soaking in it, because I'm going to be writing my book. I've written 3 chapters, but it takes a while to write 3 chapters. So anyway, okay, cool. All right, I'm out of questions over here. I'm going to check. I think I have like one more, maybe, if I can find that last one question. If I took a picture, which I don't think I did. Okay, I think I'm out of questions on my phone. Do you guys have any more questions? Because if not, praying for you, that's a lot to undertake for a mom. Me? Or somebody else? I'm trying to see. I'm praying for all y'all. No, seriously, I pray for you guys, seriously. Oh, I missed that one. Okay, I am the first to do this in my family, and I am new, but my mom was so concerned. I explained how I can be there and really allow my children to learn at their pace, and then there's no bullying. Yeah, sometimes when we speak to our parents, we have to speak their language so they understand that we've got it. And I can understand why a parent would be nervous about seeing their child homeschool, because they themselves were a product of the public school system. And when they were in the public school system, I feel like it was almost at the public school system's peak, when things were going very well. It was very structured, everything was orderly, but it was also very secular. And they had a good experience, but their experience was from a secular worldview. But because they had that good experience and they were successful in college and career, like, they see this pattern, and then they see you not following that pattern that they're familiar with and that they know equals success, they get really nervous and concerned, because they know they can't control you. And they're worried that now your kids are not going to be able to follow that pattern of success, that you have now taken your child away from that pattern. And now their fears are they're not going to be successful. They're not going to be able to do this. But they're not taking into account, 2 things, or there may be more things. One of them is that the world is changing. Even the secular world is changing. And the second thing, that secular school system that they were raised in, and that pattern, that flow of pattern, is not biblical. So there's that. If you look at the structure, I know I'm making a really big claim here, but if you look at the structure of the public school system, it is not biblical. It's a secular pattern. It is based off of man's philosophies. It was based after, I can't think of the guy's name. It's in my book. I have my book out in front of me. I can't remember. Prussian school model. Prussian. And there was a philosopher that inspired the Prussian school model. Can't remember his name. Okay, but it's it's a big name. It's so bad. It's getting late. Then there's also Dewey, who really pushed progressivism in the public school system. And so you got all those things. So it's a lot to think about. There could be other things too, but it's like you go back to what you're familiar with, especially if you had a good experience with it. And that's what you want to see your kids have. And it's hard. I get it. And I'm sure when I get older and there's certain things that worked really well for me, and I see my kids like go in the opposite direction with it, then I'm going to struggle too, I'm sure. The world is changing, though. That's another thing to consider. College is definitely overrated, but it is needed for certain subjects, not for every. We've got businesses, running your own businesses. I mean, how many people graduate college with a degree and they end up working at Barnes and Nobles as a manager? You could do that without a college degree. And there's technical schools. Those are easy to get into. I know in the state of Florida, a homeschool diploma, the colleges here have to recognize it as a valid diploma and as a high school graduate by law. So I don't know about other states. I'm pretty sure it's going to be similar. So I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it is, because even though we have different laws in different states, homeschool is still legal across America. It's just different requirements, pretty much. All right. Exactly. Well said. Good. Yay, thank you. First year homeschooler here too. My daughter will be in first grade. Would you recommend Apologia Science? I would recommend astronomy. The Apologia Astronomy is what I would recommend. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Unless you have an older sibling who is doing Apologia too, then doing it as a unit study. But their astronomy is so relaxed. I have a love-hate relationship with Apologia Astronomy. Just don't try to do Apologia with a fifth grader for astronomy only. They'll be bored. I'm just saying. But a kindergarten will eat it up. Definitely. And a first grader will eat it up. And it's good. It's really good for those grades. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I'll just kind of close out. And if there's a question pop up, then I'll stop closing and answer it. Okay. So next week, no Sunday live. And then the following week, I'm doing it with Summer Myers. I love Summer. Have you guys seen Summer's channel? She'll get on here and troll me, by the way. She's not here tonight. But when she does get on here in the chats, she gets a little trolly. But like, it's all inside jokes, so I know where it's coming from. So if you haven't seen Summer Myers, go to her channel. She's awesome. She's deep. She's a deep thinker, but she's witty. Like, that's the best way to describe her. She's very, very witty, and she's a deep thinker. And I kind of think we're best friends now. We talk every single day on Marco Polo, actually, every single day. And she's so much fun. Oh my gosh. I love her. I love her, love her, love her. So we're doing it together. We're going to talk about unbrainwashing our brains. And we're going to talk about the little things that happen at home. That is a pattern from the school system that we didn't realize that we had. She also wants to get into some reasons why people homeschool, some wrong reasons why people start homeschooling and they don't realize it. Like, they say it's one thing, but it ends up being another thing. So she had some thoughts on that. And no, you do in the state of, okay, so questions. Full Sail University definitely takes homeschool diplomas, and it is one of the top 3 media schools in the world, and also where I graduated from. Awesome. And then also, do you have to get a GED since there's no official high school diploma? Nope. In fact, it's recommended to not get your GED. A lot of parents think that that's the route to go, but getting your GED signals to the colleges that you are a quitter. That's what it does. So you have to, Summer, you're on, you're not trolling me. I'm talking about you and you heard it. Now I'm all embarrassed. Sorry, Summer jumped on. Okay. You're not trolling me though. Okay. Anyway, she's not going to, because I put you on the spot. But I'm closing now. Okay. So I am going to get off. And then, I'm talking to JAYMIE. I'm talking to JAYMIE on the is it the last week in September? JAYMIE. Okay, JAYMIE has a smaller channel, but JAYMIE's from Canada. She has a child with autism, and we have been discussing. That's interesting. Sorry, we have been discussing some comments about how special needs kids, a lot of people are concerned about their salvation, but also this idea that you can homeschool from a biblical perspective to your kids with special needs, whether they're verbal, nonverbal, autism, Down syndrome, all the things. Like, you can. So, and you should. So we're going to talk about all that. And we're going to talk about the hush hush topics, because both of us have kids that have special needs, and we deal with those topics all the time that come up. So yeah. Okay. I had to get my GED for nursing school, even though I had already completed 2 years of community college. That's interesting. Huh. My state wouldn't let me sit for boards without having a high school diploma, even though I would have a college degree at that point. So I know in Florida, there's an affidavit that has to be signed by the guardian when you apply for college. So I'm wondering if that's kind of similar to that situation. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so since I've been saying I'm going to close for the last 5 minutes, I'm going to actually close. So, okay, guys. All right, so I'm going to see you guys in 2 weeks, September 11th. And I have a video coming out tomorrow morning. If you want to catch that, you can. It's me homeschooling kindergarten with Naomi for the first time. And it's a very real, raw kind of thing where we're doing So Happy to Learn. And it's like, this is our first time doing So Happy to Learn with her. And it's her first time doing kindergarten. So that's the video that's coming out tomorrow morning, 8:30. And then I have a morning basket collab that I am hosting coming out on Thursday. So that's next week. And until then, okay. Yeah, I'm just going to close. I'm not going to say, I always say, until then, I'll see you in my next video. That's what I always say at the end of my videos. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It was great talking to you guys and chatting with you guys. And I will see you in 2 weeks. All right. Take care. Have a good night.